Setting capitalism free, why guardrails beat handcuffs. Have you ever tried running an American franchise of one of the world's most famous capitalist companies, surrounded by Marxist friends and left-leaning media? Well, that's exactly what my family did when I was growing up. We ran McDonald's franchises, icons of capitalism in the heart of Sweden's social democratic landscape. This paradox taught me firsthand that capitalism isn't about blind ideological purity or unfettered greed. It's about creating a system where innovation, fairness, and societal progress coexists. Today's capitalism often operates on outdated assumptions, systems and models created for a different era. Our business and government structures simply haven't kept pace with rapid societal, technological, and global shifts. The solution isn't choosing between complete market freedom or heavy government control, but finding a nuanced balance, smart, transparent oversight that empowers rather than restricts markets. But achieving this balance is not straightforward. It requires constant reflection and fine-tuning. Is self-interest the secret ingredient of capitalism? At its core, capitalism leverages self-interest for society's benefit, what Scottish philosopher Adam Smith famously described as the invisible hand. Although often thought of as an economist, Smith was truly a moral philosopher. He emphasized ethics, trust, and accountability as crucial elements for aligning self-interest with society's broader goals. Perhaps the true art of capitalism lies precisely in balancing individual ambition with collective well-being. Think of a forest. Trees compete fiercely for sunlight, yet beneath the ground they quietly cooperated by sharing nutrients through vast networks, not from charity, but because a healthy ecosystem benefits all. Capitalism structured properly can work similarly, competitive yet cooperative, driven yet balanced. The 2008 wake-up call. Why regulation matters. The 2008 financial crisis wasn't capitalism failing, it was regulation falling short. Banks lent recklessly without sufficient oversight, causing massive damage. Clearly, regulation matters enormously, yet the opposite problem, excessive regulation, can suffocate capitalism's strength, innovation. Post-crisis regulations like the Dodd-Frank Act introduced thousands of pages of complex rules, disproportionately burdening smaller banks and inadvertently suppressing innovation. These lessons here isn't to abandon regulation, but rather to ensure that it's clear, principled, and flexible enough to foster innovation without allowing recklessness. Reflecting on this crisis, we should continually question if we have truly learned the right lessons. Markets and government, finding the right boundary. As my friend Daniel Tierney, founder of Wicklow Capital, has pointed out, we should think about the role of government from first principles, especially in the context of the digital age. Government's job isn't to play the game, but to maintain the field and enforce fair rules. Using Dan's soccer analogy, the government should build a high-quality field and provide competent referees, not to dictate outcomes, but to ensure fair play and a well-run system. The rules should encourage excellence, not incentivize people to kick each other in the shins. In the industrial age, infrastructure meant highways and railroads. Today, it means broadband access, cybersecurity, cloud infrastructure, and digital identity protocols. And the referees? They're still trying to keep pace with a game that now moves at the speed of light. As Dan puts it, quote, regulating at the speed of paper in a world that moves at the speed of light is like refereeing with carrier pigeons, end of quote. In this environment, oversight must be fast, fluent, and technologically literate. Less bureaucracy, more systems thinking. This is not about choosing between government and markets. It's about designing the right relationship between them. Markets are incredible engines for innovation and adaptability, but they don't deliver everything society requires. Essential public goods such as infrastructure, education, and healthcare still needs thoughtful oversight and support. That said, oversight doesn't mean ownership. The government doesn't have to operate every service directly. Imagine if our goal is reliable, affordable transportation. Why cling to outdated bus systems if innovative private solutions like subsidized ride sharing can do it better and cheaper? Shouldn't effectiveness guide us more than ideology? The best of American innovation and entrepreneurialism should be applied to improving government services, just as much as it's applied to building billion-dollar tech companies. That's not anti-government, it's pro-progress. Government oversight should function a little bit like McDonald's corporate management of franchisees, clearly defining quality standards, setting expectations, and then allowing the best providers to operate freely within those parameters. This structure can help replace cumbersome bureaucracies with better, more responsive solutions. How clear rules turbocharge markets. Transparent, effective regulation enhances rather than hinders capitalism. Good rules, like antitrust laws and clear environmental standards, encourage competition and innovation without excessive interference. Lithuania's transition to digital government services perfectly illustrates how clear and simple guidelines can dramatically shrink bureaucracy, reduce costs, and improve service without expanding government control. Can simplicity and clarity in regulation be the key to unlocking even greater innovation? Peruvian economist Hernando de Soto uncovered a fascinating paradox. The right amount of regulation doesn't limit economic freedom, it expands it. His extensive research shows that when bureaucratic hurdles are simplified and property rights firmly secured, entrepreneurship and innovation thrive. Countries with clear, transparent processes for starting businesses consistently outperform those bogged down by red tape. Sadly, America, once the world's gold standard for entrepreneurship, has slipped in global rankings due to increasing complexity and bureaucratic friction, as recent data from the Heritage Foundation confirms. Sweden, on the other hand, has risen by fostering trust, clarity, and simplicity in its regulatory frameworks. De Soto's insight reinforces a central idea we've been exploring. Capitalism works best not when markets are entirely free or heavily constrained, but when intelligent, simple, and trusted guardrails guide innovation without strangling it. Sweden's secret: balancing freedom and responsibility. Growing up in Sweden, I saw firsthand how pragmatic reforms could transform an entire economy. Sweden isn't socialist, it's a market-driven economy balanced by intelligent and strategic government intervention. In the 90s, when excessive welfare spending threatened the economy, Sweden streamlined bureaucracies, digitized services, and deregulated industries. These reforms spurred vibrant entrepreneurship, creating global successes like Spotify and Klarna. What truly set Sweden apart wasn't merely regulation. It was the deeply rooted cultural attitude of trust, compliance, and clear shared expectations. Sweden achieved superior outcomes more efficiently, precisely because its guardrails were thoughtfully calibrated. This example prompts reflection. How might cultural attitudes towards trust and compliance shape the effectiveness of capitalism elsewhere? Can we perfect the dance between freedom and oversight? While striking the right balance between freedom and oversight isn't easy, it is essential. Capitalism's future depends on clear, fair guardrails that protect integrity, foster genuine competition, and support innovation. Like so much in our current polarized landscape, we seem to be pushed to make a binary choice. But two things can be true at the same time. Capitalism is the best and most powerful system that can and will deliver human progress. And capitalism needs rules and frameworks to make sure outcomes are distributed fairly between key stakeholders both today and tomorrow. But how much oversight is too much? In the next article, we'll dive deeper into the dangers of governmental control and explore whether, in our zeal to manage markets, we might unintentionally suppress innovation, the very engine we aim to protect. See ya!